Well, hi. Hello. Hope you're all doing good today. Um, Sorry I'm late. I think I had an actual mental breakdown, but I'm here now. um, this is like an amazing intro to stream. Um, Things have been a lot, I guess, and I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. Don't send any, medical assistance. I'm okay. I'm doing fine. Um. Anyway, this is a bit of a different one. Okay, I know we said we're gonna play Devil May Cry, and we will. That's still gonna happen. But I do have to like get my brain back into the gear. And yeah. Jesus Christ. There's been a lot. Today's been a lot. Anyway, what's that? Blah blah. Okay. So the thing is, we're gonna do we're gonna do some breakdown of Tesla in general, because I know a lot of you think Tesla was an American inventor, and I find it my sacred duty as a Croatian to prove that's wrong. Now, there is also notes that he was a Serbian inventor. He was not. He was, however, of Serbian descent, partially. Okay, I'm not gonna argue like that he had no like relations with Serbia at all, because his family was Serbian. He studied in Serbia, and it was a Serbian professor in university that got him interested in science. Okay, so I'm not one of those people. I'm a reasonable Croatian. I just thought, in general, it could be, a casual, nice thing to do, to rant about something that literally brought us to where we are today. Okay. And some people are like, "Oh, well, it wasn't Croatia part of Austro-Hungarian?" Yeah, we were ruled by Austro-Hungarian back then, but you can consider it a Hawaii situation. Like, Hawaii is not any less Hawaii because it's part of United States of America. Like, yeah, they are a part of United States of America against their will. Croatia was a part of Austro-Hungarians against their will, but we fought through it. We're republic these days. And even though I don't live in Croatia anymore, I am not sure I want to get back. Like, I want to get back occasionally, to see my family for vacation and stuff, but I don't think I want to live there ever again. Unless it's like at the seaside and the situation is like completely changed, then yes, maybe. But, hey, hi, hello, welcome to Science with Seb. We didn't do that well, I don't think we ever did that. And, I promise we will get to demon killing at some point. Okay? We will get to demon killing. It's just, I don't know. It's Tesla's birthday, so let's run down through stuff. I feel like I will have to part this VOD into like 2 or 3 chapters. We will see. I usually don't. I usually separate stuff. But since this has literally nothing to do with Devil May Cry, and I also maybe want to check out, just like a sneak peek at the fairy stuff. So maybe we're gonna have 3 parts to this stream. Bear with me, please. I don't know. My brain is scattered. Things are not great. Um, with my brain. Anyway, yeah, I had like a terrible, terrible case of first like panic because I was supposed to talk to people, and then dysphoria kicked in, and all of the mental stuff. It's just, it was rough. It was rough. But instead of postponing the stream, as I probably should have, I figured streaming might actually bring my mental health back in check. Okay. uh, now, okay. One thing to note: if we're reading American Wikipedia, okay, and also, by the way, I'm pretty sure like a lot of people who will see this will not know that Tesla was a thing before this horrible Nazi person. Okay. By that I mean obviously Musk. But yeah. So if we go to English Wikipedia, oh, Britannica also has a biography. Mm. And Nikola Tesla, Simple English Wikipedia. Okay, so let's start with Simple English Wikipedia. So, wait, what? Okay, this one, no, this one lists it right. Okay. Okay. American page first, I guess. So on an American page, Nikola Tesla is a Serbian American engineer, a futurist and an inventor, known for his contributions to the design of the modern alternating current electric supply system, which is funny because as far as I know, as far as I'm aware, um, America doesn't use alternating current. I might be wrong. That might change. Wait. Does America use alternating current? Because I don't think they do. Okay, so the current war, Thomas Edison versus Nikola Tesla. Yes, okay. The difference in electricity transmission around the world has to do with Tesla's and Edison's feud and early electricity monopolies. So, while I wouldn't really say that there was much of a feud, it was more of Edison, well, stealing Tesla and, well, trying to steal his inventions. But that's, I don't know if we want to talk about that specifically today. But yeah, this article states that many countries around the world use different standards in feeding electricity to residents. The USA, for example, uses 110 watts, 60 hertz AC current, whereas India uses 230 watt, 50 hertz AC current. These differences may not seem like a big deal, but they are actually rooted in a feud between Tesla and Edison. Now, I don't know, like for clarity purpose, in Croatia we kind of grew up on the impression that Thomas Edison had Tesla killed. So Thomas Edison is very much a bad person in our history. But those are just, alleged circumstances. I'm not saying like that's true and stuff. I'm just saying in Croatia, I grew up under impression that Thomas Edison had Nikola Tesla killed. I don't know if it's the same in Serbian culture, but I do know that my Serbian friends do also grow up under that impression. While Americans kinda try to claim Tesla, and a lot of them don't even know him as anything else as except an American inventor, which he never was. Well, he lived in America because at the time America was, a better world, or looked like it could be. It had opportunities that he needed, but we're gonna get to that in a moment. So, direct current was Edison's quote unquote invention. Why is it quote unquote? Because it was probably one of his workers' inventions. Thomas Edison did pretty much what Elon Musk is doing, right? So, in a proper, society, he wouldn't call his company Tesla, he would call it Edison because his practices are kind of the same, which does bring a lot of nuance to how American society works in general when it comes to science and progress and stuff. They don't have an inventor that they lift up. They have a person who has inventors under his pay, and then he presents it like something he invented. Anyway, it was not good over long distances. The one direct current was not good over long distances. Tesla, on the other hand, created the alternating current, which is great for long distance transmission. 110 volts was much more economic when electricity became widely available, and the voltage kind of stuck. At the time of the first widely available electric grid, it was mainly used to light houses, which used bulbs that worked best between 100 and 110 volts. Before anyone knew whether AC or DC was better, Tesla and Edison fought out their discrepancies through intense experiments. Eventually, the AC current won. So I guess, you do use AC, but vastly lower AC than we do. Eventually, AC current won, and Westinghouse Electric in the US adopted 110 VAC 60 Hz standards. As this became the standard of American power, European power companies arbitrarily decided to operate at 50 Hz and push the voltage up to 240 in order to improve distribution efficiency. So most European countries adopted 240 VAC 50 Hz as a standard, which eventually spread to parts of India and Asia. There really isn't a technical reason why many countries have different electric grids, but rather the facts are based on early monopolies and business agreements. So that's kind of the rundown of what this particular article is going through. It's a small article, interesting engineering. I will link it for you here if you want to go through it on your own. I can't really zoom in on the thing, but yeah, there was a big war fought over this. AC eventually won, and electricity around the world is kind of much stronger than American electricity. That's why Americans, you have to be careful with your things. That's why your kettles are not as, good/fast as our kettles. And Brits, that's why Americans opt out for microwaved water instead of kettle water. In general, I don't think this is like widely understood, and a lot of uh, this stupid Euro-American feuds happen. Like, oh, your kettles are so shit. Oh, you don't have kettles. Like, they do have kettles. They're just not as good. There's not much point in buying a kettle in America. I mean, there is. It's still good to have a kettle. It's safer than microwaving your water, especially like depending on what you're microwaving it in. Because water like boiled in the microwave, it's still boiled water. So first you have to have a cup for it, and you probably want to have it so it doesn't really get to the boiling point. You just want it just under the boiling point. It depends like on your cup size, what you have, like the mix you have in, yada yada. So in general, if you can't use a stove or a kettle, it's better. But I'm not gonna stop you from using the microwave. And Brits, you shouldn't judge them too hard for using the microwave to boil their water. Okay, it's not their fault. They just don't have good enough electricity. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to bash anyone except Edison and maybe Musk. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see where we get for that. Literally, like the article under that is, why doesn't US use 220 volts like everyone else in the world? Mm. Mm. So yeah, in general, like even if like I'm thinking because my American friend is probably moving with me to Scotland, I don't know how his appliances will deal because they're meant for like lower electricity output. Like one thing is if you connect the USB to a port, then that does its own thing. But some appliances like that are made for America and appliances that are made for the rest of the world are made for different currents, different voltages. I mean, most of that happens like not in the socket, but in the is it a socket? The plug. Sorry, not the socket, the plug. Most conversions and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It's yeah. Anyway, the American page continues. Born and raised in the Austrian Empire, Tesla first studied engineering and physics in 1870s without receiving a degree. That's wrong. That's wrong. He then gained practical experience in the early 1880s working in telephony and Continental Edison and the new like oh my god, that's so wrong. I'm sorry. What? I usually don't. I didn't actually read the full American Wikipedia on Tesla. Jesus Christ. Um, Alma mater, Graz University of Technology dropped out. Okay, let me just read you the early life of Tesla. Okay, how about that? Because I feel like this is, yeah. Anyway, according to some findings, Tesla wrote about the origin of his creation surname in his diary. So, if you hadn't known Tesla, it's anyway. He stated that the surname Tesla is actually his grandfather's nickname. A Tesla was a carpenter's carving tool, similar to a wide axe. Since his grandfather had protruding front teeth, people gave him the nickname Tesla, and as a result, Tesla was adopted as a surname that was passed on to his children. So that's where the surname like originated. In 1870, after Tesla finished his third year of gymnasium in Gospic, so he finished school. Well, his third year of school. Gymnasium is a secondary school, like high school. So after he finished his third year of high school, his parents sent him to a higher secondary school in Rakovac, sorry, which is in Serbia. So just to clarify, because there is a lot of like, oh, Tesla was born in Serbia. He was not. He was genuinely not. Okay. So this is our map. Okay, I don't know if you can see that like little blue pin there. That is where he was born. Like that is where he was born. And then Rakovac, in a second. Okay, so he was born around here in Lika, right? And then Rakovac, all the way over here. That's where he was studying. This, Croatia. Sorry, this, Croatia. See, like, dragon sort of shaped. Here, Croatia. And he studied here, but he was born, like, around here. And his family was of partially Serbian descent. Anyway, that's it. Sorry to be like nitpicky about this, but it's important. Okay, so in 1987, in 1870, after Tesla finished his third year of gymnasium in Gospic, his parents sent him to a higher secondary school in Rakovac. There, he lived with his aunt Stanka and her husband Danilo, a retired major in the Austrian army. Stanka tried to get Tesla interested in music and art history, and while Tesla had great hearing and very sensitive ears, he simply was not interested in music. Okay. After graduating from gymnasium, so he's not a dropout like American Wikipedia claims. Jesus Christ. And still, like, I want to read through it completely to like correct mistake, but it's getting me upset, so maybe we won't read through it. But yeah, after graduating from high school, gymnasium, the higher gymnasium, I guess at the time, Tesla returned to his parents' home in Gospic. His father didn't want him to return due to a cholera infection that plagued the area, the Lika area at the time. And his father's concern turned out to be legitimate because Tesla became infected with cholera. He was stuck in bed for almost 9 months. He was often sick as a child, and he was once absent from school for 2 months due to illness. I feel like that's not too bad, but yeah. Nikola Tesla stated that he became interested in electrical engineering thanks to his high school physics professor, Martin Sekulic. Although his father wanted him to be a priest, he was impressed by his professor, who was an excellent experimenter and constructor. Tesla was very excited by his professor's experiments. He was especially intrigued with construction in the shape of a freely rotatable bulb that spun rapidly when connected to a static machine. When Tesla enrolled in polyethnic school in Graz, Austria, a dean wrote to his father. He praised Nikola Tesla as a star of the first magnitude. Despite this praise, the dean thought Tesla was working too hard, so he warned his father that Nikola should slow down. His hard work began to endanger his health, so the dean advised his father that Tesla should drop out of school to save his health. So, while he did drop off, college, kinda, he did have a gymnasium experience, which even back in the day, gymnasium was like a very high experience you could, have. Anyway, Tesla was an ingenious problem solver, even as early as elementary school. When he was a child, there was a gathering in Gospage when a new fire hose was put into operation. During the ceremony, the hose became clogged. Tesla realized on his own that the problem was with the supply pipe coming from the river. He took off his shoes, stepped into the river, and unclogged the pipe himself. The new fire hose resumed working immediately. Now, Šibenik, one of, well, my family town, kinda. Part of my family was like from Šibenik in general. So also why I'm kinda. Anyway, thanks to Tesla, Šibenik was the first electrified city in the world. One more reason why you should come visit Šibenik. On August 28, 1895, Šibenik became the first city in the world with a system of production, transmission, and local distribution of Tesla's alternating current. This system enabled Šibenik to have the first electric alternating current street lighting. It was the beginning of Croatia's modern electrification, all thanks to Nikola Tesla. The alternating current was produced in the hydropower plant Jaruga, the first and the oldest electric power plant in Europe and the second in the world. Jaruga is situated on the river Krka, and its electricity is produced from renewable resources. Krka is also a stunning national park in Croatia, and you can view a guide to that. I don't know. The article links it, but yeah, it is a national park. It's beautiful. You should definitely visit it. It is very appropriate that the world's first city with electricity was Šibenik, a mere 160 kilometers from Gospić, where Tesla grew up. Nikola Tesla was a brilliant inventor and visionary whose ideas significantly contributed to shaping the modern world. And some of his most famous inventions include the Tesla coil, alternating current system, and early radio technology. If you're in Zagreb, you can see working models of some of these inventions at the Tehnički Muzej Nikola Tesla, including a live demonstration of Tesla coil that shows just how ahead of his time he really was. And I do encourage you, if you're ever in Zagreb and if you want to visit anything, do visit the Technical Museum of Nikola Tesla, because it's great. And just make sure that the show is open, because you have to get the show tickets separately, but they usually inform you about that. Usually. But ask, just in case. Okay. Polyphase current system and rotating magnetic field. Tesla's system of Tesla's polyphase current system and rotating magnetic field made it possible to generate, transmit, and use alternating current efficiently over long distances. The rotating magnetic field, which he discovered, is a key principle behind most electric motors today. The polyphase current system and rotating magnetic field have laid the foundation for the most electric power grid. Tesla championed alternating current over direct current, showing it was safer and more efficient for delivering electricity to homes and businesses. His alternating current system for power transmission and distribution allowed power to travel further without losing energy. It became the global standard for electricity and is still used everywhere today. And then we have his oscillation transformer. So Tesla's oscillation transformer, or also known as Tesla coil, is a high voltage, high frequency transformer that can produce impressive electrical arcs and sparks. It was part of Tesla's experiments with wireless energy and electricity. So I have to like point out that even back then, he was already experimenting with wireless energy and electricity, like wireless transfer of electricity. And this invention stands out because it was one of the first steps towards wireless power transmission, which we only managed to bring to life fairly recently, you know. In the grand scheme, this was 100 years, not 100 years ago. What am I even saying? It was more. Not even 100 years ago. We're in 2000. This was in 1800s. Well, at the end of the 1800s, but still. Definitely. Yeah. Lightning using high frequency currents. Tesla developed special lamps powered by high frequency currents called lightning using high frequency currents. The big name. In Croatian, rasvjeta pomoću struja visoke frekvencije. It sounds more scientific in Croatian, I know, because it's a foreign language, but which glowed without wires or filaments. These experiments led to the development of early versions of fluorescence and neon lighting. What's remarkable is that he was exploring wireless lighting decades before it became a practical application. Wireless transmission system for radio signals and energy. Tesla worked on sending signals and energy through the air using his towers and special equipment known as wireless transmission system for radio signals and energy. He believed electricity and communication could be delivered wirelessly around the world. This idea was ahead of its time and is now integral to how wireless technology operates today. So, many decades ago, before we actually like implemented first wireless technology, which to me it was always fascinating to watch in the Tesla exhibit. I don't know, just to see that there was this like one person who is literally the father of modern technology, because we wouldn't have none of it without him. And still the things that he wanted to bring to life, they're still not as functional as they could be. But that research he did is like the foundation of all of it. Anyway, teleautomation, remote control of a boat. Tesla created a radio-controlled boat in 1898, demonstrating the world's first remote control system. This invention is known as teleautomation, remote control of a boat. He could steer it and control its lights with a wireless signal. It's unique because it introduced the concept of robots and automation long before they became real-world technologies. We can't forget the Tesla's turbine, which was a bladeless design that used smooth metal discs and principles of fluid dynamics to generate power. It didn't catch commercially, but it was incredibly efficient and simple. Its uniqueness lies in its elegant, futuristic design that still inspires engineers today. And before the ads start in 4 minutes, are they actually? Wait, let me check on this. Yeah, okay, we have 4 minutes. The last thing I want to bring up from the article is radio. I'm literally like reading you the article word by word, mostly with just like. So this is the article, in case you want to read through it. But yeah, while others also contributed to the development of radio, Tesla's work with wireless communication laid essential groundwork. He transmitted signals before Marconi's success and fought hard to prove it. What's special is that the US Supreme Court later credited him as the true inventor of the radio. Dung, dung, dung. If you didn't know. Mm, so there is a lot of, you know, little details that I probably couldn't run you through about Tesla. But definitely what you should visit is, if you're ever in Croatia, is Technical Museum of Nikola Tesla, the Memorial Center of Nikola Tesla in Smiljan, and Nikola Tesla Experience at Center Karlovac. I never actually personally visited that one, so I guess I might have a reason to get back to Croatia for a little bit. Located in the city where Nikola Tesla completed high school, the center offers an interactive and educational journey through life and work of the inventor. Visitors can touch Tesla coil and experience the power of electricity, test their knowledge about Tesla, and learn about his path from his childhood in Smiljan to global recognition. Designed to inspire curiosity, the center combines modern technology with hands-on exhibits to win over visitors of all ages. And I guess while the ads are in progress, I am so sorry about that. Thank you for sticking around through them. Um, some most commonly, frequently asked questions about Tesla. When and where was Tesla born? And he was born in a small village of Smiljan, Croatia, on July 10th, 1856. Today you can visit his family home as a part of the Memorial Center Nikola Tesla. And Nikola Tesla died. Well, second question is, I guess, where did Nikola Tesla die? Nikola Tesla died to coronary thrombosis on January 7, 1943, at the New Yorker in New York City. He was 86 years old. Now, while that's very plausible, a lot of people still believe that he didn't die natural death. Again, it's always gonna be alleged, but what do we know? It was a long time ago, and some things we just can't know. And since he was, in general, very sickly, it wouldn't be too weird that he died to coronary thrombosis. And besides, it's 86 years old. It's pretty old, you know? Okay. What is Nikola Tesla best known for? It's the developing of alternating current electrical system, which remains the standard for electricity worldwide today. He also made groundbreaking contributions to radio wireless communication and electromagnetism. So that's gonna be the most important stuff. Well, not the most important stuff necessarily, but the stuff that he will be most known for, forever. And this question, did Nikola Tesla invented this Tesla coil? Yes. He invented the Tesla coil in 1891. It's a high voltage transformer that helps pave the way for wireless transmission of electricity. While it's not widely used in practical applications today, it's often used in demonstrations and experiments. Did Nikola Tesla work with Thomas Edison? No. Tesla briefly worked for Thomas Edison after moving to the United States in 1884. However, the two had very different ideas about electricity, which led to falling out and famous rivalry known as the War of the Currents. And a shame, by the way, the greatest shame still to this day, Tesla never received a Nobel Prize. Despite his many contributions to science and technology, despite him being known as the father of modern technology, he never got one. There were rumors that he was supposed to share one with Edison, but never happened. I have no idea if Edison got one. I believe he might have, but I don't care. Because I genuinely don't like that practice where, like, oh, you hire a bunch of scientists, then you contribute their inventions to yourself. That system is. Anyway, and where's Nikola Tesla buried? He's actually buried. Well, his ashes are kept at the Nikola Tesla Museum in Belgrade, Serbia. The museum also houses many of his personal items, inventions, and papers. So, if you're ever in Serbia, you definitely wanna pop a visit to there. Now, I know that there is always debate whenever like Tesla's birthday runs around or the anniversary of his death. I mean, honestly, like even without that, there's always discussions. But the internet gets flooded with like, oh, is Tesla Serbian or Croatian? Both things can be true, people. Both things can be true. He was born in Croatia. He was raised in Croatia, studied in Croatia, but he was also Serbian descent. He lived in Serbia. He studied in Serbia. His ashes are in Serbia. One thing I can tell you for a fact, he was never of American descent. Okay. Like, yeah, he lived in America for a long time. But that doesn't erase the fact that he was Croatian. Well, Serbo-Croatian, I guess. I don't know. People like to pretend like, oh, well, since Croatia and Serbia were like under Austro-Hungarian rule at the time, well, that means that he gave up like his nationality to be an American. No, I don't think it does. Like, yeah, he didn't want to be under Austria, kinda Austro-Hungarian regime, but well, he was definitely not Austrian. He was definitely still part of our heritage because it was a Croatian family in Croatian space that brought him up. Croatian City was the first one who adopted his current, and one of the first one who lit up the streets in the world. I think, like, without the Serbian part of his family, the Serbian professor, he would not probably be as inspired as he was to do this. He would probably search for what he wanted to do for much longer than he did. So, while yeah, he might have lived in America, but all of his great ideas came from the Balkans. I think that's something people tend to forget a lot, especially in American thing. Like, I'm sorry, like the fact that I'm sorry, born and raised in Austrian Empire. He was born and raised in Croatia. That was at that time part of the Austrian Empire. It's like saying, again, I said that at the beginning, so I'm not gonna. I don't want to repeat myself. But it's like, it's just, but yeah, attempting to develop. Let's go to the American one again. Attempting to develop inventions he could patent and market, Tesla conducted a range of experiments with mechanical oscillators, electrical discharge tubes, and early X-ray imaging. He also built a wirelessly controlled boat, one of the first ever exhibited. He became well known as inventor and demonstrator of his achievement to celebrities and wealthy patrons in his lab, and was noted for his showmanship at public lectures. Yeah, I guess. Kinda. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, his father was an Orthodox priest, if anyone cared. That's why he actually wanted Tesla to become a priest. I mean, I guess they do actually cover um, a lot of his inventions in the wiki. So there is that. It's just that his like early life is kind of forgotten. Also, personally, I guess maybe it's not a personal beef. Maybe it's like a generational trauma beef. It's just dismissing Croatia that always fought to be and stay Croatia, even while we were ruled by Austrian Empire. Well, Austro-Hungarian Empire, to be fair. Um, I don't know. A lot of it is just like kind of being erased, and I don't know. I don't like that. Like Croatia fought hard for their independence forever, ever, forever, and I don't know. I guess while the other people can't really maybe relate to it, and I guess it seems like I can't relate to it as much because I keep running away from Croatia. But I'm very proud of my Croatian heritage. Okay, even though like my life there was fucked up, I'm really proud to come from Croatia. And yeah, I am not obsessed with Tesla. I'm I'm just a reasonable Croatian that believes that both things can be true at the time. And he's genuinely father of modern technology, and he never got a Nobel Prize, by the way. In case you were wondering, and I think he deserved at least one. Well, I'm talking to you in the stream, but yeah, I think that conclude my little rant about this. I know it was a short rant. It wasn't that long. It was half an hour, but I don't know. I think we should celebrate Tesla, not as an American, okay? Just not as an American. Yes, he lived in America, okay? America seemed great at the time, especially when you were not really fit for the military, okay? And your inhibitions lied elsewhere. America at the time, I believe, was not at war. So it was, and it was a lucrative opportunity. Like, yeah, he got there with, I think, 4 cents or something like that. Like, he didn't have any money when he got there. He got an offer from Edison. He took it, but he made the best of it. Edison never forgave him. Uh, so yeah, that was interesting. That whole feud. But again, if you want to know more about it, Croatians Museum, Croatian museums and Serbian museums are a really great way to go. Um, so if you wanted a reason to visit Croatia that's not for the seaside and tourism, I mean, I guess that's still tourism, but yeah, you know what I mean. Anyhow, I'm gonna take a tiny break, and then we're gonna switch to Devil May Cry, and then I think we're gonna do like just um sessions, two missions, maybe three missions. We'll see. Currently, we're gonna have to fight the boss, so my wrists are not ready for that. My wrists are not ready for that at all. Um, yeah. Mm, that's a little bit about Tesla. Happy birthday, Tesla, I guess. And let's B2B for a sec. I'll see you in a moment. And then we're gonna continue with some Devil May Cry. Okay. Okay. Sit tight. Or don't actually sit tight. Go grab a snack. Go grab a drink. Whatever. Anyway. Blah. I shall hydrate immediately. I'm sorry.